All
right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Samer Mansour. I work as a mobile developer, and I subcontract essentially. And oh wait, camera's here. Hey, everyone online too. So, um, so as you subcontract or if you consult or contract, one of the huge advantages of working in a company like BSI Labs also is that you are trusted as someone who has a lot of knowledge, who is proactive. You are given more responsibility, and so you get to do a lot more as a developer compared to the others. So they try to push other people to do some random generic stuff, but then they get you to work on newer features, spikes, things that they want to see if they can implement in their company. And one of such spikes got me into learning about Apple's Business Chat. And Apple's Business Chat, back when it came, was really massive in the WWDC. It was released in iOS 11.3, so it's been quite a few years now. And so why was it so big? One of the main reasons for it to be big was that it was basically promising a lot of companies a great improvement in their customer service. You guys might know that there's a lot of studies done about great customer service. There was a study done by American Express in 2017, and they were like, okay, we found out that 51% of customers decide to switch whatever their subscription they have for an alternate just because of one bad experience. And so having a great customer service experience is massive. And as you know, a lot of companies have been moving towards the Eastern countries, outsourcing and things like that, and that has significantly reduced their customer service. And so Apple introduced the concept of Apple's Business Chat as a great way to use what people already love doing. As you guys know, millennials, we hate talking to people on the phone. We hate staying in line. We hate going to the office, sending an email, none of that. But we love texting. We text all the freaking time. And so they were like, why don't we bring in texting into customer service? And we'll not just bring it in, we'll make it the best sort of customer service. If you go to an office, the person at the shift, he may or may not know you, but with this system that they implemented called asynchronous chats, the person who is trying to help you will know the history of your conversation. They will put notes about what this person had last asked for, what problems has he been having, how was it solved. And as you can see over here, when you chat with that person, you know what problem you're having, and so you don't have to describe the entire problem again. And that person also knows the entire problem, and so he doesn't need you to tell him everything again. So over here, he says, hi there, can you tell me how many awards points that I've got? And then, welcome back, Dan, I'm Laura. Yes, I can tell you, one moment. So Laura is a different person. There's hundreds of customer service representatives, but she was like, welcome back. It's like, okay, I don't know you. My name is Laura, but you've already asked for help before. Let me tell you in a moment. And so she says, after your last stay, you now have 10,000 reward points. So she knows that person had stayed, and now she knows something different's happening. Hello, can you tell me if that's enough points for one night at your hotel? Even though there were 3 days in between, and he's not even said hello over here to that person. he's not even courteous. He's just like, I don't even care what your name is. You know how many reward points I have. Can you tell me if that's enough points for to stay at your hotel in New York City? And so he says, welcome back. I am Tom today. And what date were you looking for you to stay? So it really tried to revolutionize customer service. And so when you guys go back, you guys are, essentially consultants in a way for your companies. When companies are looking for solutions, you guys have another solution up your sleeve. You guys are innovative, essentially. You guys have another solution for a problem, and one solution that Apple at least believes is pretty solid. So some administrative details. What, apart from the code, what do you need to get started with Apple Business Chat as a company? So if you are consulting for Rogers, Rogers is like, hey, we need help on our mobile app, and you're like, sure, I'll do that. And then you overhear your director who's signed you up saying, oh yeah, we have a lot of issues. And then you take your director to the side and you're like, hey, have you heard of Apple Business Chat? And you know everything behind it also now. So what does Rogers need to do in order to get started with Apple Business Chat? All they have to do is go online, search for Apple Business Chat registration. You can watch a video. The video would probably be helpful for you guys. I can show it to you guys. Or maybe we'll get to it a little bit later though, if we have a lot of time. And you have to apply for this program essentially, because everyone just does not get accepted. They are trying to start with the biggest names first. And Rogers will definitely get selected because of its name. Once you hit apply, you put in all your information, sort of like Google Maps. If you guys have ever added a location onto Google Maps, similar to that, you just add in all that information, and then if you notice on the top over here, it says your profile is ready for review. So you put in your logo and some random information like that. You can't really do it for Rogers. Like, this is probably stuff that Rogers has to do it themselves in their marketing department. And then you submit, and then they essentially submit that application for review. Once you complete the application, they also have some other required fields that you fill out while it's on review. And you have to have your point of contacts, the technical contact in the company, and the big names. What is the total live agents that you guys have at any time? What business hours do you guys have live chats? Because for example, if you don't have any people working after 6 p.m., so you can actually put that in, and Apple will have a really beautiful way of telling them not to. And we'll go over that in a little bit. But one of the other major things is customer service platforms. So there aren't that many customer service platforms, but the majority of the customer service platforms are covered. So if you just Google Apple Business Chat, customer service platforms, most likely the company that you're working for, if they have customer service and they're using a customer service platform, it will definitely be listed in one of those customer service platforms. Yeah, there's a list that you can find, and you can see, and they keep changing it, so any list that I would have would probably not be up to date. So what are some entry points for companies for customer service? Obviously, they can go to the website, they can find help. Like there can be a link on the website that says, oh, go to the App Store. You can, find an easy way of paying your bills. You can call them directly. You can send an email, QR codes. Like, there's a lot of different ways already that companies are able to provide customer service. And one of the new ways that Apple's introducing is chat with messages, or this is essentially Apple Business Chat. So not many companies have it, but the number is growing, especially in the United States. The number is really high already. You essentially have it anywhere on your web page, on your mobile app, and it just says chat with messages. Obviously, it's only applicable for iOS. It's not applicable for Android. And so you just tap on it, and it will automatically get you to a text message. And sometimes it can even pre-fill the message that the person wants to send. So it makes it super fluid, beautiful experience, and definitely great opportunity for companies. So if you search, who has an iPhone over here? All right, who has used an iPhone over here? Ever in their lives? Okay, so if you look over here, when you're searching for stuff, even if you don't have the app installed, you can search for Discover. Discover is like Visa, MasterCard, American Express. So you just search for it, and even if you don't have it installed, it'll give you an option to send a text message, which is pretty weird if you think about it. You're sending a text message to a company, but it's amazing at the same time because that's what we love to do, send text messages. So you tap on the text message and you just say hey, and they text you back. You don't even have to say anything else. It is like very, very cool and unique. Yes?
Did you send that text?
No, I did not send that text. Okay. But we will send a text message actually today. So you say hi Discover and they respond to you. And if you tap on Discover, and this all populates by itself. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to install the app. It automatically comes here, and as soon as you text them, the picture of this changes, and we'll look at that as well. It's really beautiful user experience. Say hi Discover, you get a response. If you tap on Discover, it'll show you all this information. It shows you what their chat hours are. So you remember how you put it in and you said that you were only available between 9 to 6 p.m. So it'll even tell you what days of the week and everything that they're available. And it'll even tell you how often they respond. So usually it responds in a few minutes. So very, very nice, and especially for some telephone companies. I used to have this telephone company called T-Mobile, and they still have the same feature. So you just tell them, hey, I was over. So I try to call them. They have 45-minute wait time, and so I was like, okay, forget about it. And I realized that they have a text messaging option through Apple Business Chat. I text them and I'm like, why was I charged $20 more this time? And then it goes through the entire thing. So very, very cool. And they responded to me after 45 minutes over text, but it was still great because I didn't have to stop doing my work, put my phone on my ear, put it on speakerphone, put my earphones. It was very, very fluid. And so this is one aspect of Apple Business Chat, and the second aspect of it is that they have an app on iPhone and Android, but on their iPhone part of their app, they have a button inside that says chat with messages. So people essentially, if they tap on it, it goes directly to their messages, and they just have to click send, and it will send whatever message they want. So in terms of coding it, because developer time is very expensive, especially if a company is paying a contractor or a consulting company, they're paying maybe $150 to $200 an hour. So implementing a support functionality is very, very complex from ground up. And implementing it, a lot of companies like Zendesk, for example, very huge in customer service, they will have libraries that you can use and implement. It takes a while, but then if you're using Xamarin, you have to bind those libraries because they don't have bindings for those libraries. Zendesk does, in case anyone, but there's this thing called Zendesk Chat, which is for customer support essentially. That does not have bindings for iOS. So it's very, very painful, and it can really be avoided just by placing a button. And we'll see how easy it is in code to just place a button. Okay, so this is basically samples of how it can be used. And so the company that I was working at, when they saw how easy it was, they were like, okay, there's no way we're going to go through the whole binding process and go through that heartache. Instead, let's just use this. This is so simple. We'll just work with our customer service provider, CSP, and we'll try to implement it. So one of the other amazing things with Apple Business Chat is that you can also use the whole chatbot functionality with Apple Business Chat. So as soon as you send them a message, they can respond, even with like options for payments. And so they're like, okay, which one would you like to purchase? Especially 1-800-Flowers, they have the functionality of, you can just make the purchase right over there. And, it'll be in the video. So wide-scale adoption, this was in 2018. All around the world, like if you just search for Burberry on your iPhone, it'll have the chat option. You can chat with them. In the US, as you can see, all these companies were there in 2018 that were already using Apple Business Chat. And this is only the ones that these guys searched for. It's probably a 2017 list, but they published this in 2018. And Canada Snap Travel, I haven't heard of them. Anyone heard of Snap Travel? No. They apparently have Apple Business Chat as well. So what does the code look like? And so there's two ways of implementing Apple Business Chat. Whoever here has done a little bit of Xamarin Native or Xamarin iOS, including like Xamarin Forms with native like custom renderers? Just a few people? All right. So if you've done Xamarin Native or if you've done Xamarin Forms and just use custom renderers, you can. It's fairly simple. This is a view controller, which is like a page on any other, in Xamarin Forms, it'll be called a page. But in iOS, a page is called a view controller. So this is all the code that is inside a view controller. So inside the view did load lifecycle function, we have, we just set the title of the page, we set a background color, and then there are two ways of implementing Apple Business Chat. You can either implement it into any simple button, or you can use their Business Chat button, with a cool logo and everything. Or you can just have like a normal button that just says here, and it will still work for it. So in the first instance over here, we try to use the BC Chat button, which is that fancy looking button. And the other instance, we just use a simple UI button, which is a button control in Xamarin Forms. So all we said is, okay, the button is a new BC Chat button. We added a frame. We added touch. We added the touch function. We assigned the touch event to this function over here. And we added another button, which is just a regular button. And we just said, okay, as soon as someone taps on it, open this URL in a browser. So fairly straightforward. And then we just added the two buttons inside the sub view. Super straightforward. So also I have this code and this example on my GitHub. So just github.com/SamarM, and then you just search for Business Chat, and you can find this example. And it's linked to the slides, and it's linked to video, whatever. So really quick, this is our app that we made using this code over here. As you can see over here, there's that BC Chat button. Ooh, why is it shaking? Is it shaking, or is it just me?
Or somebody's tap dancing upstairs.
Oh, okay, I was like, wait, earthquake? Okay, so the button over here essentially is the BC Chat button, and this is just a regular button that we added the event to. So I found the link, the details of this bank called Buddy Bank. And so I hooked it up to where if you tap on it, you can actually message Buddy Bank. So I just say testing, and they respond to it, and they're just saying, okay. So it's basically a Spanish bank. and they're just these people on the other side who are just responding. Yeah. Essentially, like, I got their code from CodePen. For whatever reason, they put their secret and so I was like, okay, and so and they're pretty quick to respond. So you'll notice how when you tap on it, you type a little bit, but there's nothing that comes on the top of the screen. And I'm going to play the video just now. But as soon as you hit send, it changes the color of this automatically, and it puts a check mark to say it's verified, so that no one actually like scams you.
So it's basically working like through text messaging then.
Yes, exactly.
SMS.
Yeah, iMessage.
It's like iMessage. Yeah, exactly. Very, very cool. So. Okay, so over here, if you guys can watch the video, I basically just tap chat with messages in a few seconds. Notice how there's nothing on the top, it just says new message, and then I'm going to hit send, and it actually changes the color. And now I hit the info button on the top right, and it opens this up, and then you tap on that, it shows verified, usually responds in a few minutes, and it gives the phone number and everything, all the details. Very, very cool.
Do you know if do you know if it's a chatbot or if it's someone?
So it is always someone,
Okay.
but you can attach a chatbot to it using the customer service platform.
Okay.
Depending on the customer service platform that you use, you can attach a chatbot to this, and so it, essentially responds, automatically. So you don't even need people there. So this is just authentication for the chat. So now the question is, okay. Clearly you don't need an app for this. You can just get a link and spawn a chat. Essentially, you don't. It's just basically a URL. You're opening it and it takes you to the Messages app. And so, do you need an app? Yes, you do. For what purpose? For authentication. So we still have our jobs. It's good. Job security is always good. So if, for example, T-Mobile wants to implement this feature, and they're like, and I'm like, I have problems with my bill, and they're like, okay, sure, I don't know your account number, but that's never the case. They'll just tell you to log in to the T-Mobile app, and so as soon as I log into the app, the app automatically sends all the information required using this authentication to basically authenticate my user and tell the chat that I am who I am. Essentially, it says, okay, this person is Samir. He's using this phone, it's essentially like an OAuth. You use your phone, all that stuff. So. Basically, you need to have a customer service provider, like I said. So you need to check out if they are eligible with Apple Business Chat. So one of the customer service providers that we used was called Acing. They have a really beautiful office in New York City in the Freedom Tower. But essentially, you can send a picture off your modem, and they're basically able to respond back to you, and it basically says that, hey, Apple Business Chat is applicable, is compatible with their systems. Really cool for companies. Wait, we're not done yet. So looking at the code now, I'm going to go back, and I basically started a new solution. You just basically file a new solution, and you just go to iOS if you're doing iOS native. Come on. Yeah, single view app. So I started with a single view app template, and then I basically created it, and then I went to the app delegate file. I commented all of that app delegate file code out, and I said, var view controller equals this custom view controller that I'm creating, and I created a navigation view controller for whatever reason. I don't even know why I did it. Let me just. That was okay. Let me try this now. And as you guys can see, I'm using QuickTime Player just to mirror this. I don't think it's recording anything right now, but it's building. So I basically said my custom view controller, I created an instance of custom view controller. I said that my root view controller is this new custom view controller, and that's all I did over there. That's all the changes I made. And then I went to my new custom view controller that I created, and the code that I showed you over there about the view did load and the touch function. So it's basically just that I added onto here. And if you look at this, whoa, that's insane. I was just testing this an hour ago and it wasn't working, so it's working now.
It's the opposite of what happens to everybody else.
Yeah, look at that. Okay, so there's two. I was actually not going to focus on this because I was like, okay, it's not working. Let me not show it anyway. But there's two different styles of these buttons as well. So let me expand the screen size. Are people going to be able to see my screen at all?
Yeah. It's
Okay, perfect. So let me increase size. I created a new instance of BC chat button, and then it asked me to pass in the style. So if you look at it, it says, okay, there's two different constructors. One is coder, just like everything else, and then there's the BC chat button style. So I say BC chat button style, which is an enum, and there's two different styles. So I just did dark. I'm going to show you guys what light looks like. And stop and start. So, man, this is crazy that it's actually working. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Okay, it's still building, so we still have a few seconds. But this is essentially the URL, or here. This over here is the URL that you can put inside your browser. And if any iPhone is opening that URL, it'll say, hey, do you want to open that in messages? Come on.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Yes. But did you guys see how I got here? That's the important part. So all I did is create an instance, set root view controller is this instance. And now I am going to show you guys my screen. Okay, it's still the dark for whatever reason. So this is supposed to be basically the light version of it. Maybe I have to rebuild all, clean my cache. But notice how when I tapped on it, it opened my messages directly. Do you guys see that? Mm-hmm. Now I hit cancel. I'm gonna go back over here. I'm gonna hit click me, and it basically does the same thing. Now let me show you guys another cool thing. So instead of just this blank stuff, wait, what is it adding? So it basically only does this for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it instead. Here. So if you've done chatbots or if you've done Amazon Alexa, you know that one of the things that these customer service or these intelligent robots like to work with is called intents. So if the intent is for equipment, it'll go through the equipment intent. If the intent is for let's say billing, then it'll go through the billing intent. So it knows what the intent is, so then it can respond to you with that specific intent. And then the group, which department you want the person to go through. You can basically funnel the people out that way. One last change I'm going to make is instead of saying this, comment this out, uncomment this, save, and keep this. Oh, I see. I was adding 2 events to that. Okay. Okay. I'm building it.
color is your button going to be this time?
It's supposed to be light. I don't think it's going to be light. See, it says light over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Probably it's not going to be though. Come on. Oh. There we go. Yeah, it's not. Anyway, so I'm gonna hit click me, and it, basically loaded without the text this time. I'm gonna say, notice over here it says Buddy Bank, and it's not really, it doesn't have the verified check mark. So I'm gonna say test 2. Hey, oh, my bad. You guys are awesome. No, I mean they're Spanish. They probably will have to translate.
Look at that.
Yeah. Just say test. Oh no, how do you say hello from Canada?
Hola.
HOLA.
Hola. De Canada?
DE Canada. Send a little flag.
Yeah. Did you guys see how the color changed? And
Yeah, they put the branding on.
Yeah, and then I tap on the information icon. It shows up over here.
It almost launches in like a modal too when you first launch it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And then you can just tap the button on the top left, and it goes back to the app. Lastly, I'm just going to show you guys. Are we going over time? I hope not.
We're okay.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that, like, since it's SMS, you don't have to have the app open, right? Like, you don't have to store and you have to do anything. It's just like text messaging, right?
So if you
Yes.
respond back, you just get a notification.
Yeah, you get a notification,
Yes.
right?
Exactly. Exactly. So easy for everyone to implement. Everyone in the whole, it's so easy for every single step, every single layer to implement flowers.
Unless you're on Android and then.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Do you know if there's any service like this in Android?
I know that there's no service like this in Android.
Damn it, Google.
Yeah. It is a pain to implement customer service. If any of you have tried to implement customer service into an app, it is a pain. And I mean, you'll think that it's as simple as creating a chat app, but it's really not, because there's different people who can pick up queues and things like that. Come on, give me a video. Yeah, like Home Depot has it. Wait, let me see. I really want to see the flowers. Yeah, basically, I don't think I'm gonna get the video. Wait, let's one last try. Business chat, register. Watch video.
Introducing Business Chat, a better way to make meaningful connections with your customers. With Business Chat, it's easy for customers to get in touch when they need you, and you can help them with everything, all in one message conversation. Have real interactions with your customers while answering their questions. Help them learn more about your products and link them straight to the information they're looking for. Your customers can always come right back to chat again. And with long-lived sessions, you'll be ready with their information. So it's easy for them and easy for you. If customers already have a product in mind, they can make their purchase right in the message conversation with Apple Pay. Integration with Apple Pay means customers can pay securely with just one touch.
So that's one of the awesomest things. Like, that's it, done.
They can also come
So
back later
simple.
to track their orders.
And your order number.
All of this in one place.
Wonder how much I have
With Business Chat, your customers can easily find you. From Safari, Spotlight, Siri, or Maps, you're just a touch away. So everyone can enjoy faster, seamless, more personal interactions. Every time. Visit us to learn more.
Alright, that's all I have. Thank you guys.
Yeah.